Thanks for joining us here again at our Pokemon Labs League Challenge. I am Arnie Wolf, this is Dennis Geisler, and we are here in Swiss Round 5. This is intense because both these players are 2-2, which means whoever wins probably gets in the top cut.
Yeah, and yeah, we got Jose Payan and Edgar Abundes. Jose with the Zamazenta team. Got the Zamazenta with the Charizard, Galarian, Moltres, Fluttermane, Chenpao, and Rillaboom. On the other end, Edgar with the Miraidon, the Ursaluna Blood Moon, Chi-Yu, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Whimsicott, and Iron Treads. Again, lots of weird Pokemon.
Yeah, we're having a good day of just like unusual picks.
I'm enjoying what people are starting to do towards the end of this format. I mean, we've had Reg G collectively for so long at this point that I think people are starting to really find some things even below or lower below the grain that are really fun.
We've seen Bruxish today, we've seen Frostmoth today, we've seen Galar Weezing, yeah, just a lot of fun stuff. And in this case, you have the Charizard with the choice specs, you have the Moltres Galar, and then you also have Iron Treads, which some of these have seen success. We've seen Moltres Galar on Zamazenta teams before, we've seen Iron Treads. I believe it went to the finals at
we saw it at the Senior Division Worlds last year, but
yeah.
Is this actually that team? Pretty close.
It's close.
I don't think it's the exact team.
No
I don't
giraffe.
think it was Assault Vote. Yeah, there's a giraffe there.
There's also, I remember, Terra Bug Iron.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It was definitely Terra Bug Iron Treads. I know that.
Kind of iconic.
Oh, absolutely.
But let's get going into the match. We are going to see a pretty standard lead here. Whimsicott and Chi on Edgar's side. No, this Chi is Charcoal, while Jose leading with Zamazenta and Chenpao. The classic combo that's been everywhere with Zamazenta.
But this is a pretty difficult matchup for that Zamazenta. It is Terra Dragon, so it can at least Terra out of the Heat Wave weakness, and it can also Wide Guard, so a couple of different options on how to blank this Chi-Yu right now, to blank the obvious Tailwind Heat Wave move. And if you're able to do that, and if you're able to get a lot of damage onto the Chi-Yu immediately, this could get pretty out of hand quickly for Edgar.
One thing I also want to point out is this Zamazenta does not have Protect. It is Wide Guard solely, with Heavy Slam, Iron Defense, Body Press, and Wide Guard. I personally think the best bet here is to just straight up Terra Dragon and Body Press into Chi-Yu. If it's Fire Terra, you're not risking a Ghost Terra. You're able to just go for the, the hit onto it. Gives you a decent chunk, especially with the Chenpao. I'd probably go for the Protect on Chenpao as well, yeah. Just kind of keep it alive for another turn. Whimsicott can do a few things. Can either Tailwind or Moonblast, but you have to watch out for Encore, but I think if you Body Press here, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Ooh, just going for the Heavy Slam into the Whimsicott. Gets it down to that Focus Sash. I like that play. At the same time, you do have to keep in mind that yeah, it's a little bit awkward because the Protect on the Chenpao is no longer available, and Chi-Yu is now the fastest thing on the field because of... Or, it's not the fastest thing on the field, but it's fast because of the Tailwind. Although Zamazenta's not going to take a lot of damage, so you might as well just do what you can with Chenpao at Sash. It'll take one hit, and then just hit stuff as hard as you can.
Yeah. I will say, this, again, is a kind of classic Chenpao, as I like to say.
Yeah, it's going to be the Wide Guard.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I mean, you want to block that Heat Wave. If it is the Heat Wave, then you're going to feel great.
Oh, not an Encore, but a Moonblast that does a good chunk onto the Zamazenta there.
Encore wouldn't have really done anything, because you can't use it in the Chenpao.
Can do it onto...
Could have locked in
the
heavy slam, but I don't know if that would have been great. And the Heat Wave is blocked.
But this is a classic Chenpao, as I was saying, with Sacred Sword instead of the standard Throat Chop, which we've seen.
Huge crit on the one damage Sacred Sword.
You will never know how.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that over the double dark moves, just because the coverage that you have with Sacred Sword, and obviously it did not matter there, but the coverage that you have with Sacred Sword is so important, and it is gonna come into effect here. It will be good coverage against Chi-Yu. It'll be good coverage against Treads if Treads is in this matchup, and got the Miraidon here now, and pretty awkward.
It is a very weird spot here. This Miraidon, it is a Pixie Plate Miraidon, not choice item, so Electro Drift, Dazzling Gleam, Draco Meteor, no Volt Switch. And therefore it also is able to go ahead and just protect if you need. I think right now though, the best bet is, I was gonna say not to do that, but rather just go for an Electro Drift into the into the 10th house slot, Dark Pulse into the Zama, but we did not see that. It's like Heat Wave.
Yeah, and Chen Pao dodged the Heat Wave, so that's going to be really tough for Edgar. Because now you need 2 hits still to get rid of the Chen Pao, and your Chiyu is gone because it got evaporated by a Dawn. Edgar down to his last 2 for game number 1.
Don't you hate it when your dog steps on your gold?
That's the Iron Treads, Perodada.
This is actually a not bad at all. This Iron Treads has one of the most interesting moves in the game, Supercell Slam, which if it goes into a protect, does 50% onto yourself.
Yeah, similar to high jump kick, or just jump kick, I guess.
But what I do think here is, you have Steel Roller to the brain. I honestly think what you should do is go for the high horsepower into the Zamazenta, and then you do have Terra. I have Terra Water.
I think you actually, yeah, I guess you do just need to hit Zamazenta with it. Actually, no, I think you don't high horsepower the Zamazenta because, yeah, you want a Terra Fairy Plate Dazzling Gleam, and that should pick up Zamazenta.
Unless it clicks on Wide Guard.
Yeah, unless it clicks Wide Guard, but you have much bigger issues so far than Wide Guard knocking out your Zamazenta, or Wide Guard blocking Zamazenta damage. Steel Roller into the Chen Pao, I don't think that gets rid of the terrain.
Not if it's protected.
No, if it's protected. Yeah. This Dazzling Gleam... Excuse me, Dazzling Gleam should get rid of a Zamazenta.
And we should... Very surprising.
Yeah, there we go. But still 3 Pokemon remaining on Jose's side. That was just the first one out of the way. This is restricted, but feels like those 2 have just been lingering around for a while, getting a lot of work done, and the Tailwind out of the way.
Now that's what you needed. It was a little bit of an awkward spot for Jose, but now it is basically smooth sailing. Chen Pao generally outspeeds Miraidon, and Iron Treads, it depends on its booster. But that's not going to matter when Rillaboom comes in and changes the terrain to grass, and now your Chen Pao is at least at minimum second fastest. I think a really safe player is to fake out the Miraidon and then stick it toward into Iron Treads, and then just do. And then after that, like, you get rid of the Treads for good, and you can just Wood Hammer into the Miraidon since it's Terra Fairy, no longer resists grass. You're safe to just do that.
Or even just double into the Treads.
You could, yeah.
Worst case scenario is you get Dazzling Gleamed. Rillaboom's gonna take like a bunch of Dazzling Gleam. And there's the Protect. Which, yeah, you definitely need to get a hit off there. I think Treads is just gonna get doubled.
Sacred Sword.
Yeah, Sacred Sword's not gonna knock out, but there's a Steel Roller. Gonna bring it down to the Sash and gonna get rid of that grassy terrain.
It'll be really funny if this Rillaboom's gonna deep turn out here.
It would be pretty funny, but it's just going to go for high horsepower. Knocks out the Treads, and yeah, that's going to make this very awkward for Miraidon to try to pick up the victory.
I think this is an interesting call. I mean, it's very much in Jose's favor. Obviously, I will crash the right call. Do you just go for the hit, go for the Wood Hammer, or do you just try and reset the terrain? But then
I think you click you.
It's interesting. I think.
Oh wait, no, you're locked into high horsepower because of
damage. Choice Band and Rillaboom.
Banded.
Okay then. Well, yeah, I think
very BSS of the Rillaboom there.
And we're gonna see. We are gonna get. That's one thing for Edgar.
Fluttermane does have to eat a hit here, although it does have. Yeah. Here's the Icicle Crash. It is faster.
Almost exactly 50.
Flinch would, well, a flinch probably would have ended the game, but no flinch, so Dazzling Gleam will go down. Fluttermane eats that pretty happily.
And that, I think...
And now Rillaboom comes back in and gets that boosted, gets the priority on the Grassy Glide, gets that boosted Wood Hammer damage. I think you just go for Grassy Glide.
I think just go for Grassy Glide, yeah. Especially because the Fluttermane's going to be able to outspeed, so you just click on the and the Grassy Glide. Yeah. That
should even go for Thunder Wave, which would be kind of funny to see a paralyzed Miraidon.
What? Like, when else are you going to see it? Do it for the. Do it for the.
Nobody runs Thunder Wave in this format.
And we did see Grassy Glide being the locker, which is wise.
There's no way that Grassy Glide plus Moonblast, which is also faster than Miraidon, won't KO Miraidon.
It's gone. But we're gonna find out. And at this point, if you're the Miraidon, it's like Dazzling Gleam time.
There's Grassy Glide, yeah, that's just gonna pick it up. It is banded after all.
And Jose Payan takes game one.
Game one there.
I think just drop the right board. I agree with that, yeah. Charizard is really going to help you here. I think you did.
Yeah. Although on Edgar's side, what do you need to switch? Because I don't think that went great.
I don't like Chi-Yu against Zama. I think Urshifu will give you more bang for your buck because it is close combat potential, which...
Not only that, but you also have, like, Surging Strikes into, like, Chen Pao.
And Zama does not like Miraidon. Because if you trap Zama last game to basically not have its Terra, you're able to just go for Electro Drift X2 and you're faster than Zama if you are a standard Miraidon. And so you don't... That's something that most Zama teams, speaking from experience, you always want to try and trap the Miraidon into a move that you don't like. Meanwhile, if you're the Zama and you use your Terra, now you're trapped into a move. So I think that the bringing out the Urshifu, being able to go for Surging Strikes into stuff like the Flutter Mane and the Chen Pao, it's going to give you more bang for your buck, so you trap the Zama into not going for the Terra Dragon right away. And also, that's just my take, at least.
Yeah, no, it's just a tough matchup in general, and then I don't know. I do think it's not a bad... it's a weird Miraidon set, I think is the big thing I keep coming back to, is just the fact that this is Pixie Plate Miraidon, meaning that you lack a lot of the damage that you get out of specs, and you're relying on Dazzling Gleam to do a lot. And if you can get Zamazenta to Terra early, there are a lot of things that don't want to get hit by Dazzling Gleam, but you have to use a lot of Dazzling Gleams. Like, Miraidon Dazzling Gleam is what you do when you want, like, when your Miraidon is not particularly in danger, and the rest of the battle is moving kind of slowly, and you can just kind of chip down, like, a supportive Mon over 2, 3, 4 turns. And I don't think Pixie Plate changes that, because it just, it doesn't even get you up to what Specs gives you. So you're just doing a bit more damage on the Dazzling Gleam in exchange for being able to use Protect. And I don't know, it's just kind of an awkward spot to be in. It's going to be the same lead for Edgar, and a different lead for Jose. It's going to be the Booster Speed Flutter Mane.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Actually, I do think this is a good lead for Edgar, because you now put instant pressure on Jose's side with the Heat Wave. No possible wild guard. You do
That's
have
the thing. Edgar didn't change anything, and maybe he should have, but Jose changed it, and clearly is on the worst side of it.
Yeah. I think you're gonna take one. If you like, regardless, you have to click Tailwind, otherwise the Flutter will go first. So I think that's the good thing. Take advantage of that. You probably will take a Heat Wave. I think the play is to Thunder Wave the Chi-Yu and Icicle Crash into the Whimsicott. That's what I would do, because that Tailwind is very obvious.
Yeah, or even just try to land a Sacred Sword into the Chi-Yu, see what you can do. You're gonna get the Heat Wave. It's gonna miss the Flutter Mane. That's
no!
Double miss on the Heat Wave. That is not good. That is not good for Edgar. The Thunder Wave goes down to the Chi-Yu, and that'll make it the slowest thing on the field despite the Tailwind. And Icicle Crash will also miss. There is one move that didn't miss that turn, and it was Thunder Wave.
Another notorious move for missing, but
absolutely whack turn. In any case, Moonblast is going to come through into Chen Pao. That'll bring it down to Sash at the very least.
I'm assuming this is going to be Sacred Sword here into the Chi-Yu. That will probably KO.
Could be that. It could just be Icicle Crash again into the Flutter Mane.
Icy Wind.
Yeah, we're going to see the Icy Wind, which will drop the Whimsicott a little bit, but I don't really see the point necessarily.
No, I think Moonblast would have given you, again, more bang for your buck there.
Especially
the Sacred Sword, the Chi-Yu.
The Sacred Sword, yeah, there it goes, onto the Chi-Yu. There it goes. I guess I understand if it was the Icy Wind onto the Whimsicott, because you break the Sash and you lower its speed to where I think Fluttermane actually outspeeds this next turn.
I think it's...
It won't outspeed the Miraidon, though. But Miraidon's in an awkward spot. Like, there's just too much to hit right now. Miraidon might have to Terra.
I think right now your play, if you're Jose, is, you know what? I'm bringing in my Rillaboom again, and I want to try and just protect the Chen-Pao so I can get as much damage as I can out of my Grassy Glides. But I'm really surprised we see the Miraidon. I mean, the Terra to Fairy makes sense, but I'm surprised that we did
you
not
kind of have to Terra.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel great, but...
Terra right away as well on Jose's side.
I'm surprised that Jose's Terra, but I guess at the end of the day, you're not going to Terra... You probably don't want to Terra your Rillaboom, and you definitely don't want to Terra your Zamazenta, so you might as well use your Terra now. Not that I think it does anything. There's the Sucker Punch, just to get a little bit more damage before the Dazzling Gleam comes down and finishes it off. Nice. Smart play. Heads up.
I was actually a little surprised to see Dazzling Gleam.
That doesn't do anything against Fluttermane.
Yeah, I think the Electro Drift into that slot would have been a bit safer, personally. But you do get an Icy one, and that's kind of crucial.
Ooh, but it misses the Miraidon. It does a bit of damage to the Whimsicott, but it doesn't get the Miraidon. And the Whimsicott does go for the Moonblast. We'll see if this picks up the knockout. No, not even particularly close, but it does get the special attack drop.
So this is a very clear play. You go into Rillaboom, you go Grassy Glide into the Miraidon.
Yeah. Simple. Yeah, actually, this is pretty over. Looking at the Pokemon that are on the field right now.
I'm curious how much a Choice Band of Grassy Glide will do. And even if it is Iron Treads...
It might pick up a knockout from this range.
I think so.
I think it does. Oh, come on. Yeah. You want to show us the cool Grassy Glide.
I mean,
Miraidon might have to protect, but if the Miraidon protects, I don't know what it accomplishes.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting play because, like, here's the thing.
Yeah, there's the Grassy Glide.
Oh my goodness!
Not enough to knock out, but scarily close. We'll see if the Dazzling Gleam... Oh. Dazzling Gleam does not knock out the Fluttermane. Icy Wind. Do we get the -1 Icy Wind double knockout? No.
Oh,
no.
That's satisfying.
Tragedy ensues.
Yeah, this is just very good spot for Jose because you're guaranteed to keep that Grassy Terrain up and you get Grassy Glide still in play.
And the whole, there's a Zamazenta in the back.
Yeah, that too, but like, you can at least sleep with Rillaboom now, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, there are so many options on how Jose can finish out this battle. I think that at the very minimum, you probably want to Moonblast the Rillaboom, or not the You want to Moonblast the Miraidon here.
Yeah.
Because you know you're faster. So you might as well Moonblast, get it finished off. Because I think what you have to worry about here is getting locked into Grassy Glide, and then Steel Roller comes out.
Yeah. So it's smart to swap into the Zamazenta here.
But at the same time, you want to get rid of the Miraidon. I'm worried that Miraidon's not going to get knocked out here, and that it's going to do a little bit extra damage. I guess it doesn't matter, though, because it protected.
I think
so. Actually, Jose did the right call, and I'm the bozo.
I think Icy Wind's fine here too. You know, your goal right now with Zamazenta is, you know, you're bringing it into a spot where you don't want to click high horsepower. Steel Roller,
and it does
very little,
nothing to Zamazenta,
which I thought was going to connect with the Fluttermane slot, but that makes sense. So now at this point, you go for the Moonblast into Miraidon, and then you just click Body Press into the Iron Treads. I don't think
the game ends.
And then the game ends.
And then the game ends.
That's it. I mean, unless the -1 special attack drop really hurt Fluttermane.
Yeah, and then we do team checks for Top Cut. And Blast, it is -1, but Fairy is neutral to Fairy, so it's not going to get completely walled or anything. There goes Miraidon. It is just one funny Iron Treads remaining. One funny elephant. And it's not slower because it has Covert Club.
So, at this point, click Body Press.
Just click your moves.
Half of me wants to say click Thunder Wave for the heck of it.
Yeah, I mean, get your tiny bit of extra damage out of Moonblast. That's not terrible.
I have to remember that.
Solid, 8. High horsepower, not going to do enough. And Body Press.
There you
we'll finish it off. Jose with the 2-0 victory in round number 5.
And being 3-2, I believe that all that guaranteed
now. I think it was a down pair, yeah.
I thought it. I was almost guarantees Top Cut. Well, maybe not. If it's too
Still
free.
a very nice win on stream. Very
Always
well
nice.
played, all things considered.
Yeah, brought in the right four each time. The Rillaboom definitely showed some fun.
Yeah.
Some nice switches there to kind of protect your Rillaboom in the back. Yeah, really
Well, and we definitely saw the value of everything that was brought. Like the wide guard Zamazenta is kind of 50-50. Sometimes you'll get the protect, sometimes you'll get the wide guard, sometimes both instead of iron defense. We certainly saw the value of what was brought here. The banded Rillaboom absolutely got to see some value.
Fun. That was super fun.
I'm sad that we didn't get to see the Charizard or
I know, I
the
want to see
Moltres,
Charizard. Hey, we saw it in the little icon thing. That counts.
Yeah, we know that they were present, but in any case, that is it for our Swiss rounds. We will be back in just a few minutes. We will tabulate all the results and be back with our quarterfinal round. Don't go anywhere.